Well, welcome. I'm Perry Williams, and this is Coach's Corner. Today I got with me the head basketball coach at Westfield High School, Shane Sumpter. Welcome, Coach.
Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure to be on.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you doing this for us. Well, we're sitting at 1-2, okay? One thing about it is we want to get out of the way. Congratulations to Westfield High School for winning a state championship in football. That's got to help the whole athletic program.
What an exciting time for Westfield, but really excited for our football team. I know they held their banquet last night, but what an exciting time for our community, and I just big believer it just helps our entire program, entire athletic department, and just very excited for those kids. You know, they worked hard, and excited for Coach Gilbert, and what a state championship game! If I'm sure you watched it.
Oh, absolutely!
What a great game! So
yeah, and absolutely, and I think that winning attitudes can be contagious in all sports.
Yeah, we're those kids. Like I said, it just I'm a big believer in just going to help everything, you know. And we've got we obviously share some kids, and we're excited to have them back. I certainly was not in a hurry to get them back because, like I said, I told you last time, that means we're going to a state championship. But just really excited for our community, our guys, and like I said, I know they had their banquet last night, and but it's just going to help in all phases of our school.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk a little bit about, I know you're 1-2, only got 3 games on the book so far, but, you lost to Pendleton Heights in a close one, that first game that you played. And, of course, Pendleton Heights is always a good program. And then, you got beat by Zionsville, which Zionsville's an up-and-coming program there. Sure. They're 3-1 this season. And then you went to New Pal and won at New Pal. So let's talk a little bit about the first 3 games.
Yeah, I thought we played. First of all, Pendleton Heights, what a very good basketball program, tough place to play, and they've certainly got a lot of tradition there basketball-wise, and they got some good players with Albers, and we just kind of ran out of time a little bit. We got down 12 in the fourth quarter, and then came back and really made it a one-possession game, but. They had a game under their belt, and that was our first game, and so we felt like we made some big strides there, and then of course went into the Zionsville game, and just kind of we didn't play particularly well in that game. I thought we played well in the first quarter, but Isaiah Thompson, very outstanding player, and so we didn't really play our best game there, and then felt like we made some adjustments in the New Pal game and did some things there. So. Looking forward to tomorrow night. Big game against the Noblesville Millers County game, sectional opponent, conference opponent. It's here. I know it's on TV, so hoping everybody comes out to the Rock tomorrow night, and should be a good basketball game. They got very experienced guards, and with Plummer and Flincham, and just a very well coached team. So should be a good ball game tomorrow night.
Yeah, I think it will be because you got a lot on the line, like you said. It's a Hamilton County rivalry. It's a sectional opponent and a Hoosier Crossroad conference member. So it all stacks up here right from the start. And it's probably good to be home, okay? Those first 2 games you played on the road, so.
Yeah, that's the thing about New Pal is we got home. I thought we had a nice crowd, for Saturday night, and then nice student body, and then we kind of hit some shots early in the New Pal game, and I think we kind of just fed off that momentum a little bit, and then we're going to need that tomorrow night, against a Noblesville team that's well coached, and they're going to play hard and with experience. So absolutely,
that's a pretty senior-laden team.
They are, and when you've got senior guards like they have, it just seems like I've heard those names forever.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for that, and. We're obviously, we start 3 sophomores, but so when you've got seniors like Plummer and Flincham that have played a lot, it certainly makes a difference.
Oh, absolutely. And the one thing about it, after the Noblesville game, you got Tipton coming up, and Tipton's riding 6-0. I know they're a 3A school, and it's a team that. That area takes basketball serious up there.
Basketball certainly matters at Tipton, and of course, going there, it's always hard to. It's tough, tough environment. But again, well-coached team. I don't care who you play. You're 6-0. You're doing something right.
Yeah.
Just tough environment. So we'll have our hands full going over there on Saturday night for sure.
Now you also will. You're going to Shelbyville to play in a shootout.
To play Warren Central, yeah. So it's not getting any easier.
No.
I'm waiting on one of those easy games.
Yeah. I looked at the schedule earlier today, and I started looking, and I thought, man, this is going to be a tough little schedule.
Well,
here.
we talked when last time you were here. There's no nights off in this conference, this sectional, and especially with our our out of conference games. Yeah, so we're going to go play at a holiday tournament, and we're going to play Warren Central and Shelbyville and Perry Meridian, the other two teams in there. We were fortunate enough to get to the championship game last year after beating Bloomington South, and then Bloomington North. And then we got beat by Perry in overtime. But our next 3 games, like I said, there's no nights off. So we'll play these 2 this weekend, and then start talking about Warren here over the break.
And when you look down through the schedule, even some of these schools you got, like Tipton and Hamilton Heights, they remember when Westfield was small.
Oh yeah.
So they don't forget that stuff up there because. And
you're talking about 2 very good programs, and Westfield and Tipton and Westfield and Hamilton Heights have played forever.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
They've played forever when they were the same size schools, and obviously we're a growing school. But what tradition they have basketball wise. So and when you go to those places, there's a big environment.
Yeah.
So and I like that. I want to go to if we're going to go to Tipton, I want a good environment. If we're going to go to Heights. And we still play Lebanon, but those are teams that Westfield have played forever. So there's something to be said for that.
Well, and it's always good to go in that rough environment too, because come sectional time, it can get kind of ugly.
Absolutely.
With the crowds and the big crowds and the kids getting used to.
Sure.
Earlier in the season, we broadcast the Guerin Catholic Hamilton Heights game, and I'll tell you, Hamilton Heights took it to them. I mean, they really did, and. The Weatherford kid can jump, Lutz. Those guys have been around for a while.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's got 3 players there that been starters or big parts of the team for 3 years.
Absolutely.
So and then of course our conference. You still you've only played 1 conference game. So
tomorrow night will be our second. And then you go Hamel Southeastern, Fishers, Brownsburg, and Avon. So there's just no nights off.
No.
It's a meat grinder. And then of course when you get to our sectional and like I said our non-conference games, there's a lot of tradition there. The teams we play. So there's not many nights off.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Coach, let's talk a little bit about the team and about your players. I know we talked about them early on, but it looks like from your stats and everything, you're a pretty balanced team. I mean, you've got some players that average 16.7, but you also have a lot of guys that are down there 4 and 5 points a game, which is important.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. I always feel like it could be a different guy every night, and there's going to be a lot of balance in our team. We opened up the season with Pendleton Heights, and I believe Caleb Welch had maybe 25 in that game as a sophomore, so I'm sure he got a lot of coaches' attention that night. But and then last game, Ian Christian, one of our seniors, led us with 22. But we have a lot of guys that could probably get look up and they got 20, but. A lot of balance, and that's important. Now we need some scoring, and we need a lot of guys to chip in, and we're trying to get healthy. We've had a couple guys out, but certainly feel like a lot of guys can give us something each night.
Yeah, that helps a whole heck of a lot. As far as the season's gone so far, there's some things that obviously all coaches constantly want to improve, but are there some things that you think that you need to stress here a little bit more than?
Yeah, I just think, first of all, overall consistency. We need to be more consistent on both ends of the floor. We really stress defense and taking care of the basketball and not turning the basketball over here at Westfield. That's kind of how we have to play and controlling the pace. So I just think we need to be more consistent on the defensive end. I think we have times where we're really good, like we want to be, and then we have times where we're not so good. And we were in the top of this conference last year in defense, and that's what kept us in a lot of basketball games. So we need to just do a better job of being more consistent. And then, of course, on the offensive end, we just got to find a way to score some easy baskets. It seems like everything's just a grind for us, and basically that's what good offense is. How many easy baskets can you get? So we need to do a better job. But I would say the one word that would sum it up is just we need to be more consistent in what we do.
But I think that comes if you look down your roster, you don't have many juniors, okay? So, it's either a senior or a sophomore.
Yeah.
And, you know, as well as I do, a senior and sophomore, they haven't played much basketball in their career together.
Well, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about with the Noblesville. There's something to be said to have senior guards. We start 2 sophomore guards. So, yeah, I don't want to use that as an excuse, and I certainly don't. When I'm sitting here in front of these guys in this locker room talking about that, we have to be more consistent. But is there something to be said for that? Probably, yeah. There's probably something to be said for that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's the same. It's the same thing when we talk about teams that have very good freshman players on it, and sometimes people forget, even though they're good freshman players, they just came from playing 8th grade basketball. That's all they saw were 8th graders.
Sure.
And in many cases, like in our conference of kids that come out of 2 or 3 different middle schools and feed into a high school.
Yeah.
So it's a lot different.
Definitely something to be said. Like I said, you can't. There's definitely something to be said for experience. Like I said, and that's what makes Noblesville good, is just their experience. And but you have to be inexperienced before you get experience.
That's true. That's true. And it's always good to have those young sophomores and.
Because there's definitely something to be said if they're good enough to play for you now at that age. But there's going to be some of those inconsistencies. There's going to be some of that stuff because, like I said, 2 years ago they were playing 8th grade basketball, those types of things. So there's definitely something there.
Yeah. Now, tomorrow night, of course, we'll be here, Hamilton County TV.
Yeah.
We'll be broadcasting the game. We're really excited on doing that. And also in January, you probably don't know this, but we're going to do both games at Southeastern, because I think that's a boy-girl doubleheader.
It is.
So we're going to be doing that.
That's great.
At Southeastern. At the same time, we're going to be doing Noblesville and Zionsville, because they have a doubleheader at Noblesville. So we'll have 2 games on at the same time.
That's great.
And hopefully, now we're working on it real hard, that a way that we can cut over to your game and see how it's going with the announcers there, which I think is going to be Jack Russell will be with you guys and cut over there and do those kind of things. Because the more exposure we can give our young people, the better off.
Yeah, well, we appreciate all you do. I mean, that's really big for us to be covered, and we certainly grateful for that from you guys.
Well, we appreciate that. And I appreciate you taking time to talk about this team.
Certainly.
I want to probably do this 1 or 2 more times. For sure, I'll be here before sectional. And we'll talk about that. And we'll be broadcasting, of course, the sectional. Is it at Carmel this year or no?
It's at Carmel. It was at Noblesville last year.
That's right. So we'll be at Carmel, and maybe we'll get some little tidbit interviews, before the game that we can put on about our opponents and stuff.
Well, we appreciate that, and certainly a pleasure being on and anytime.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Coach. This is Perry Williams along with Shane Sumpter at Westfield, and I appreciate it, and thank you for watching Coach's Corner.